Agua, agua, serpentinas, talco.
The image of indigenous people in the Andes is one of marginalization and poverty. Quechua people in the Andes are thought to be politically and economically disadvantaged. Indigenous peoples' markets, for example, are dismissed out of hand as primitive or traditional. This image may be largely accurate from a monetary and corporate market perspective. Urban, non-indigenous markets are seen as more complex, with monetarization providing a greater and freer circulation of goods. Whatever merit these assumptions may have, such categorizing of trade manifestations unjustly minimizes the importance that indigenous economies have for the interactions between urban and rural areas, export and domestic trade, and their importance in relation to the conservation and sustainable use of biodiversity, economic self-reliance, food sovereignty, and human rights. To support local economies that sustain local food systems, agrobiodiversity, and livelihoods, the Quechua Aymara Association for Sustainable Livelihoods, ANDES, and IIED undertook an action research project aimed at understanding the dynamics of barter markets in the Lares watershed and developing strategies to strengthen these unique economic organizations. Located in the southeastern part of Cusco and ranging from 4,600 to 1,800 meters above sea level, the Lares watershed includes high-mounted frigid zone and lowlands of the Amazon basin. The study covered the barter markets of Lares, Cachin, and Choquecancha. The Quechua barter markets in this region are based on the unique economic organization of Andean communities. The Quechua economy traditionally contains few markets as we understand them. Instead, each social unit strives for economic self-sufficiency. Rather than seeing the rugged mountainous terrain as an obstacle to human survival, Quechua peoples turn the region's geography to their advantage. The mountains of this tropical latitude present a variety of ecological zones, and the Quechua peoples have mastered the management of this verticality and use it to provide a wide range of agricultural products. Thus, the puna or high areas of the mountain are utilized for the raising of livestock such as llamas and alpacas, for quinoa, and in somewhat lower elevations for potato, tuber, and root crop production. In warmer, protected valleys, frost-sensitive corn is grown along with other native grains and legumes, and the hot subtropical steeped hills produce fruits and plants for rituals and medicines. This pattern of use is a legacy of the knowledge and practices of ancient Peruvians and remains important today. In Lares, most households maintain control over pastures, potato and barley producing fields, as well as cornfields at lower altitudes. Neighboring communities are organized into barter markets or chalais to have access to the different resources available in the various climate zones on a larger scale. Highland traders and lowlands people usually bring their products to barter markets in the mid-zone. Barter markets in Lares coexist with the formal market, although entrance into the monetary economy is often avoided because of the risks involved and the irrelevance of money in the local economy. Unlike money markets, barter markets constitute highly personalized trade relations based on personal ties such as kinship. Personal relations assure trading partners yearly in and out, as well as a constant exchange rate. For example, corn is traded for pottery in the amount that it takes to fill the pottery with corn. Barter markets assure that everyone has reliable access to a large diversity of food sources all year. Trade outside the barter markets is generally engaged in only after subsistence needs have been met or for cash to buy goods available exclusively with money. The volume of trade in agricultural and cultural goods in the Lares barter market is 10 times greater than that of the monetary market. By using local food systems, barter markets provide an important source of self-employment and shelter against extreme poverty. The exchange of products from different ecological zones of the mountain ecosystem provides food sources with complementary nutritional content. Potatoes and root crops from the highlands provide starch and carbohydrates. Corn, quinoa, amaranth, and other native grains are a source of proteins. And fruits from the lower altitudes are an important source of vitamins. Since Inca times, Andean people have given great importance to the movement and exchange of plants and other biological resources throughout the Andean region, especially the movement of plants and cultivars from tropical humid lowlands to mountain and high mountain landscapes and vice versa. Barter markets continue to provide for this culturally managed gene flow. The full use of the various climate zones of the mountain ecosystem and barter markets are based on traditional agricultural technologies, knowledge, and values such as complementarity, diversification, land rotation, Aini or reciprocity, and Minka or collective work. Barter markets have increased in number during the last 5 years with liberation from restrictions of the Fujimori dictatorship. However, the growth of barter markets is impeded by national trade and food policy, private tenure regimes, and monoculture production systems. The Andes IIED program aimed to support the resurgence of barter markets and food sovereignty of Quechua communities in the Lares Valley. The study looked at the dynamic of bartering in the different ecological niches in the watershed: agricultural production of a farm unit, the food requirements of the communities, the agricultural cycle and seasonal availability of different food sources in the different ecological zones, and distribution of food crops at different ecological zones. Barefoot women technicians worked with study groups in communities with barter markets. Women from the different ecological zones who attend the markets were involved as informants. The study shows that 70% of market goers are women. 100% of high mountain communities use the barter market to access complementary food sources. Markets in the 3 communities serve about 30 communities, totaling approximately 20,000 people who trade more than 6,000 kilograms of fruit and 5,000 kilograms of tubers and root crops weekly. The barter market provides the valuable social services to the whole society by sheltering one of the most vulnerable sectors of the population against extreme poverty and famine, thereby subsidizing the health systems of the state. However, neither the transactions nor the social contributions are considered in the accounting of the state. The information compiled through the Andes IIED research is being used by local communities to formulate a proposal for strengthening the barter market system in the region. One recommendation is the establishment of a consensus-making group involving users, local authorities, and national policymakers to discuss and analyze options and take affirmative action. In parallel, a barter market network was formed and is working towards the recognition of the social, cultural, and economic rights of barter market users. This network meets regularly to discuss a wide range of issues concerning barter markets, including small-scale agriculture and the nutritional safeguards under Article 8.1 of TRIPS, the Free Trade Agreement of the Americas, food sovereignty, and indigenous knowledge and intellectual property rights. Barter markets contribute to food security for local communities as well as the preservation of local resource management systems. Reliance on modern urban economies, neglecting Andean indigenous economies, is not the most effective means to sustain the food needs of the Andean region's population. Maintenance of barter markets will ensure the continued distribution of complementary goods from different ecological niches and strengthen food sovereignty and cultural and biological diversity in Peru.